Honorable Premier, if I may just request that we remain standing and take the national anthem. Thank you. We may be seated. All right, we almost got it right, eh? But 99% is not 100%, eh? Next time, no clapping of hands as well, but we're good. Let me greet the Honorable Premier, who is now in our midst. Honorable Premier Umama Nomusa Dube-Ncube. I'm going to humbly request that Umama Nomusa Dube-Ncube as our Premier wave so that you can see our Premier, and let's welcome her with a round of applause. You are amongst the fortunate because a Premier is our first citizen. Do you know that? In the country, we have the president of the country who is the senior first citizen of the country. Then in the province, we have Premier Mama Nomusa Dube, who is the first citizen of this province. We are the number one of the province. Let's clap again, welcoming her. I would also like to greet the Honorable Mayor Baba Zuma, who is the district mayor of Mkungundlovu, who is in our midst. Mangabe nje ungaphakamisa isandla mhlonishwa uZuma ukwenzela ukuthi abantwana bakubone. Thank you very much. Again, in our midst, we have the honor of having our district speaker, Mama Majola. Mangasenaya wave. Thank you. We also have in the table one of the very important people today. He is the principal of this school. He is one of the main people amongst us. Shall we also try and welcome him? Thank you very much. Honorable Premier, we are still going to be acknowledging the different dignitaries who are here. but maybe in the interest of time, I would like to request the Honorable Mayor, Ubaba Uzuma, to do a opening, welcoming remarks, Honorable Premier.
Honorable Premier, we extend our warm greetings to you, Speaker of Msunduzi, Councillor Majola, the principal of the school and the management team that is here, DDG and the senior management that is part of this program, our HOD champion, who's our program director, to all learners, SGB members who may be part of this meeting, and all stakeholders who are part of this meeting, we wish to extend our warm greetings to you all. Honorable Premier, we wish to thank you a lot for bringing the program of this nature, of this caliber to our district, choosing Umgungundlovu to host this great program and this launch. We think it's important. We are very happy. We are happy because I think there is recognition that we are a second biggest municipality in the province in terms of population size, in terms of the economy after eThekwini. We host the capital city of the province, and we were quite happy with that, and we say we really welcome that particular decision. But we also want to say it's important that we are meeting today like this in the launch of the 4th Industrial Revolution program in this particular district by the province, hosted by this district. We believe that the 4th Industrial Revolution is important because for us it represents an innovation in terms of technology, which we should all embrace moving forward. And would like to say in particular, it's important that the 4th Industrial Revolution in the main is embraced by the education sector. Both basic education, which is, and as well as higher education, but more importantly, basic education, because that's where the foundation must be laid, you know, in terms of where we need to take the country in the years to come, with regards to the skills that ought to be produced. Because you cannot think that tertiary institutions must produce a particular set of skills if a foundation has not been laid at basic education level. So it's important, therefore, that 4th Industrial Revolution mainly gets embraced at basic education as a starting point, so that as we lay that strong foundation, as learners graduate to tertiary institutions, a firm foundation has been laid. But that is also important that we embrace 4th Industrial Revolution, particularly at basic education level, because the skills that are produced by the education sector, basic education in particular, should be the skills that should match the requirements of the economy. There should be no mismatch between the skills that are produced by basic education and higher education and what is needed by the economy. That is important in the sense that we will not produce people who will say we have a set of skills, who will sit at home once they have those skills, not do anything, not be absorbed by the job market, not be absorbed by the economy, because they don't have skills that are required by the economy and the job market. To an extent, high unemployment rates that we experience as a country, in particular in this particular district, were sitting at 30.4% in terms of unemployment. But if you drill close as to why there are so many people that are unemployed, you will find that part of the reason we have so many people that are unemployed is that they are unemployable, because the skills that they have are not the skills that are required by the job market, are not the skills that are required by the economy. And that is why, therefore, it's important that we move with speed and embrace, in particular, the fourth industrial revolution. It will really put us on a competitive edge, because we're living also in a globalizing world, fast globalizing world. We have become a global village. And information technology has been the fastest, has actually fast-tracked the globalization agenda. So if we cannot compete with other parts of the world because we are not technologically savvy, we cannot compete at that particular level where we can be able to compete with the whole world. A child in Umkungundlovu, in Pietermaritzburg, in Northdale, should be put at a level of competing with a child in USA and China. And that can only happen if we are able to innovate, if we are able to embrace fourth industrial revolution. And I think we should break ranks, Honorable Premier, with the past. You know, our generation, some in our generation, we touched the computer for the first time at tertiary institution, I can tell you. And let me confess, I only touched a computer when I got to university. Because at the schools I attended from primary to high school, you couldn't get that particular exposure. So we must break that cycle. But breaking that cycle also will mean, for individual households, you also break the poverty cycle and all the social ills and the impediments towards progress, so to speak. So, Honorable Premier, we're only saying we're happy that you've taken this particular decision to say this particular province must take this particular direction, embrace fourth industrial revolution. But the greatest excitement on our part as the leadership of Umkungundlovu is that we have decided that it must be launched in our districts, and we pledge our support in terms of taking it forward, but also at our level as local government. I think we are being also directed that we should also embrace fourth industrial revolution in the delivery of services, but also in basic things like paying for services, introducing multiple channels of payments. People should not be queuing in our offices to go and pay. And through information technology, we must be able to say, these are the various channels through which you can be able to pay for services. So that's the kind of direction that we should all be taking. With those words, thank you very much. We want to say you are all welcome to this very august event. Thank you very much.
Let's give the mayor another round of applause. Thank you very much. This will suggest I'm a little bit taller than the mayor, which is good. You know, at our height, it's really seldom to find anyone who is a little bit shorter than you. Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor, for that. Honorable Mayor, you were speaking for all of us when you were saying some of us saw our computers for the first time at university. We struggled. We really struggled with computers, and it's very exciting that our own kids are no longer subjected to that. They can be introduced at a very early stage because the world is digital. If you are not within that space, unfortunately, you'll be left behind, probably for good, if mercy doesn't come your way. So you really must be encouraged to love and be fond with our computers because the space we're operating in is really digital. Let me continue with the acknowledgement of guests. We had already introduced the principal, Mr. Gavenda, whom you saw, who's also seated in front. But amongst us, we also have the SGB chairperson, Ubaba Undlovu. Maungaphakamisa nje egatsheni bakubone and welcome him. In our midst, we also have the second manager, Mr. T. Naidu, from education. We also have Dr. Leon Rolls, which I would want to believe is probably with the Premier at this stage. You are still going to see him. We also have in our midst Mr. Baxolile Nxasane, who is in our midst. I want to also believe there might be with the Honorable Premier who is here. Oh, thank you very much. He represents Tiwa Udivire as a co-founder. I pronounce it correctly. I try, thank you. In our midst, we also have Mr. Dennis Rolls, who is Deputy Secretary for EPB ICT. Okay, and you can see he's already in that space, which is exciting. We do have other members of SGBs who are here. There are also teachers amongst us. There are learners which are also amongst us. Good morning, learners, again. How are you today? No, I'm fine. I would have wanted the Honorable Premier to at least hear that, but the Honorable Mayor and the Speaker of Umsunduzi are here. They can appreciate it, I'm sure. It probably reminds us of all of us where we come from, and it's quite an important thing because it's all about discipline. If you don't learn it at this age, you probably will miss it forever. And you might not get to where God has designed you to go to. You must know that all of us started where you are. We were taught the same discipline. We persevered along the road. Where we are is not by chance, it's because of that grounding and that discipline. So you're in the right space, continue in that path. Let me also introduce one very important person in the province in terms of administration, our DG, Dr. Mkize, who's seated. If you can just stand, DG, so that they can acknowledge you as well. She's the Director General who manages all our administration in the province, working with the Honorable Premier. We are part way to Natilo as a reporter we administration. We also have quite a number of schools which are in our midst. Amongst them, the host school, which is the Orient Heights. We have Uvuga Primary School, Deacon Road, Richview, WA Lowett, we have Woodlands, we have Spring Heaven, Rosefen, we have Umsilinga, Union Park, Kwapata, Sesuguma, Comprehensive, we have Allendale. We also have Uzibuke Zulu, Fundoguhle, Imvunulo Senior, Secondary, ne Pipini High School amongst us here. Let's just give all the learners a round of applause and their teachers. I did tell you I was going to introduce myself later. I am Zibusiso Dlamini, that's my name. I'm currently the acting head of department for the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development in the province. I am the district HOD champion supporting Baba Mayor of district and MEC Waga Etia Honorable Duma as the MEC champion for the district. I'm going to be requesting DG to come and give us the purpose for today so that we know why you are here. I've deliberately not indicated what's the occasion all about. I think the Honorable Mayor has already given us an insight in terms of why we are here, but the DG will elaborate further. Then all of us will be in the know. Mpachi just chose the most difficult way of coming to stage, but it's fine. Let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director, the Acting HOD for the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. We are also greeting the Honorable Premier of Kwazulu-Natal, who has just stepped out for an interview. His Worship, the Mayor, Ngamalala of Umgungundlovu District Municipality, the Honorable Speaker from Sunduzi Municipality, Councillor E.N. Majola, the Principal of the hosting school, the Orient Heights School, Mr. P. Govender, as well as the teachers of this school. As it had already been mentioned, Your Worship, the Mayor, that we do have the officials that are coming from the Department of Education, Nokukanya Hlongwane, who is the Acting Chief Director for Human Resource Management, as well as Mr. Trevor Naidu, who is the Second Manager for Isekete la Swaimane, Lapha Mgungundlovu. They are here representing the Honorable MEC as well as the HOD, who could not be here today because they are outside of the province in Gauteng, where there is a meeting with the Minister of all MECs and HODs in the country. We appreciate that the department sent the two colleagues. The chairperson of the school governing body, Ukacheni, and members of the school governing body, teachers from all schools, the surrounding neighboring schools, as well as members of SGB from other schools. Dr. Leon Rolls, who is the president, and Mr. D. Rolls, who is the deputy secretary of the PBICT, Mr. Baxolile Nxasana. I don't want to try and call the name. He's done it for all of us, so that we, but we acknowledge that a young man like yourself is a co-founder. To us, that's very, very important. We might not be correct with the name, but what is important is that you are the co-founder. Mr. Tabani Mazibuko, who's the author of Mangwe, the Space Boy, innovation driver, captains of this industry, the graduates, and the most important people, the very important people, all the learners from areas around the district of Umgungundlovu schools, which are here. They have already been introduced. The media houses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sanbonani. I would have loved to say this in the presence of the Premier, but because the recording is being done, I'm sure she would end up knowing what we said, the purpose of this event is about. But let me start by saying that on the 10th of August 2022, the province of KwaZulu-Natal witnessed the historic swearing in of our Honorable Premier, Ms. Nomusa Dube-Ncube, as the new Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, sworn in by Acting Judge President Madondo. This was the historic moment of having the female woman Premier for the province of KwaZulu-Natal for the first time since 1994, the dawn of democracy. In 2019, the Presidential Commission on the Fourth Industrial Revolution was established and chaired by the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Ramaphosa. It was tasked with a comprehensive set of responsibilities under its terms of reference. These included some of the things that the Mayor has already spoken about. And it amazed me, Your Worship, that you were speaking from the heart. And this is bringing hope to us that this district, where we have launched, will lead and lead and lead and lead and lead in this area. It is bringing us that kind of a hope. These included proposing the country's overarching strategy for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, as well as making recommendations regarding the institutional frameworks and roles of various sectors of society within the broad plan. The provincial digital transformation strategy, which was adopted by the Provincial Cabinet on the 8th of May 2020, emphasizes the need to accelerate the implementation of automated systems so that the dream of having e-governance as well as a paperless government would be realized someday. The Office of the Premier is currently in the process of constituting the Provincial 4IR Advisory Council to strategically assist with the provincial acceleration of the provincial digital transformation strategy, working towards making the province digitally smart in all spheres, government to government, government to citizens, and government to business. The following are the pillars of the connected smart province, which is being launched by the Premier today. 1, broadband connectivity, so that ngamalala nami noma ngiye ngapha kithi emakhaya eMbumbulu kungafuneki ukuthi ngize ngiye eGqumeni, ngikwazi nje kuba connected ngikhona ekhaya, kwenzela ukuthi even kukhona umuntu ogulayo, it doesn't take time ukuthi kubizwe ambulance because there is no connectivity. Umuntu usengaze ashone noma kube nomonakalo omkhulu kanti ubezosinda ukuba we were a connected province. But also one of the issues that you mentioned was around skills development. That's one of the pillars of the strategy. Innovation, incubation, so that the young people, those that are already in the space, are incubated so that they get experience, and those that are not yet in this space are made to be interested to get into this space. Technology production, so that we produce ourselves the apps, the this and that, instead of taking everything from outside of our country and our province. Commercialization of innovation, so that when an innovator has started a project, it can be commercialized, kube yona ndlela aphila ngayo, angabe saya kofuna umsebenzi, instead being able to appoint other people to be able to work in this space, solving social issues with smart business processes and technology. Technology can play a very important role in as far as the prevention of crime is concerned and the reporting of crime as it is happening in our society. Now, we do need to say that the initiatives that we've already implemented, Honorable Speaker, as well as Your Worship, the Mayor, that we can share with the district as well as the municipality. We already have e-leave. When a person is taking leave, it's approved electronically. E-submission, we're no longer using papers when we're doing submissions. It's electronical. It's from the initiator up to the end, up to the person who is approving. The bursary system, we are now managing it electronically because we do offer bursaries to, in the Office of the Premier, we are not looking at a specific field, but we are targeting orphaned and vulnerable learners. War room functionality app. It's something that we are using to revitalize operations Sugumasake as well as the DDM, so that the war rooms are functional. We are in the process of, we are perfecting what we started during COVID, because everybody was caught off guard by COVID-19. That app, we are perfecting it. We started developing it, but we also have developed unemployed youth graduates portal where they report their skills and whatever, and we place them to different departments. In the Office of the Premier, we are going to take 38 unemployed graduates, and we took them from that portal that we have developed, but we also have the Premier's Hotline. Now, as part of phase 2 launch, the Office of the Premier intends to expedite the following: the establishment of the KwaZulu-Natal 4IR Advisory Council. The council that will be able to advise the Premier, advise the Executive Council, that is the Provincial Cabinet, but also advise all mayors through the forum that is called the Premier's Coordinating Forum, which is sitting tomorrow, by the way. In the next meeting of the PCF, this will be introduced. 4IR and the digital economy, government-to-government agreements, rollout of our broadband and bridge the digital divide, making way for a connected, intelligent province, focus on boarding women and youth into the communication space, robotics, artificial intelligence, drones, blockchain, 3D printing, and mechatronics training for the youth and children. In our times, Ngamalala, when we saw something that looked like a drone, we thought, fikile ama-spies azobheka ukuthi senzani sesoboshwa-ke manje. But things have changed. But we also would like to stimulate and localize the digital economy to benefit our 11 million people. First, optimize government processes and performance monitoring and evaluation to ensure service delivery implementation. So, all in all, today, we're converging here to witness the beginning of a smart province that never sleeps. A smart province that never sleeps. And we do want to confirm, Program Director, colleague HOD, that the Premier, Honorable Nomusa Dube-Ncube, is very consistent with the vision of building a smart, connected province with a thriving digital economy, where we are adopting an approach of building its broadband that will connect the 11 million people of this province and ensure that every one of the 2.6 million houses or households is secured and a part of the connected world. Passionate about the opportunities brought about the fourth industrial revolution and the single goal of ensuring that the people of KwaZulu-Natal, the Premier has ensured that we are not left out to be spectators. So, finally, the day has arrived where we'll see the launch of the Data Analytics Youth Skills Development Program, which is why we have in the majority young people here, because even though the majority of us were born before technology, but we are BBTs, but we don't want our young people to experience the same. That is why we are launching the Data Analytics Youth Skills Development Program, the KZN Space Program, where the audience will be exposed, all of us will be exposed to the 3D, VR technology, space technology, where NASA is behind this program. This will eventually be going to all districts. but having started here in Mgungundlovu. Launch of the Connected Smart KZN program, where the Premier will have a press briefing after cutting the ribbon there to unpack the Connected Smart Province. Early Education Robotics program, where the Premier will deliver STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, education pack sets to the school. She will also build one with the children today, as well as school-to-school digital economy career expo, where the attendees, that is the children, will be taken through multimedia space technology, cryptocurrency, broadband cloud, learner management, and 4IR as a career. These children are very fortunate, very, very fortunate. Lastly, we must commit to support the Premier, the whole Executive Council, the whole Premier's Coordinating Forum, as well as the whole citizens of the province of KwaZulu-Natal in realizing the dream of a smart province that never sleeps. I thank you, Program Director. I was taking time. Yeah, okay. Hey, gang, say
Let's give our Director General another round of applause. The message of a smart province that never sleeps. You must go home and think about that. Sambe, you could probably write an essay what that means. If you write an essay at 20 pages, you've already passed. You don't need to come to school anymore. But it's just an emphasis of the future. As human beings, we can only operate for so many hours, but nature will dictate we must sleep. Even those who live with injections and try and put steroids or whatever else to keep them awake, there comes a time when nature just shuts down and you sleep. But the opportunity presented by technology is you could still be able to work and things happening in the background while we as humans take leisure and comfort in enjoying life and enjoying our families. That's the future. And that future amongst us here as our children, you are going to make that possible. You are not going to work as hard as we did. It's good to work hard, but it's even better to work smart. And you have an opportunity to work smarter than what we did. Some of us don't have time with our families because we are busy rushing there and there, but there's no need with technology. You know this thing of signing mass submissions. If there's a request from an official going all the way up to the DG or the HOD, if there's a smart way of doing it over your phone while we're having meetings, you're able to approve things. It allows you to get home, you are with your family, instead of piles and piles of administrative work which you still need to go through. But Ninaga, you won't get there because you will be running in a smart way moving forward. Shall we acknowledge Usisi Unokhanya Hlongwana? I did not request her to stand. She's the chief director, which Mpati had introduced from education. So education is part of us as the head office. I'm going to then request Mr. Ngasane to come to the podium and talk to us about the data analysis for the future skills and future jobs. He's going to summarize everything I was saying, and it will make sense because he understands the language. Can we give him a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Program Director, Honorable Premier. I also would like to greet the Executive Mayor, Madam Speaker, as well as the principal of our whole school. Let me also greet the senior leadership of the province, the chairperson of the SGB, of our host school, the DG, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, educators, young people, our learners, and all protocol observed. Program Director, before I begin, let me make one small correction, if I may. When I arrived from Johannesburg last night, and I introduced myself to colleagues and friends that we are going to be working with. And I said, my name is Baxolile. Everyone seemed to have the same comment that Baxolile in these parts of the world is a lady's name. And they started calling me Ubaxo. So in an attempt to try and prevent this joke from getting out of hand, I said, well, you know, my clan name is Ngasana. So the correction I wanted to make is that Isbongo is Umabinya. But in an attempt to try and run away from Ubaxo, I thought I could slip in Ungasana, but I see a mistake was made, and instead Isbongo was taken out. But I'm very happy to be here because in any case, Ongasana are originally from here in KZN, so I do feel at home. Honorable Premier, let me first congratulate you in your leadership, particularly this 4IR program. I have spoken with Dr. Rolls extensively, who has indicated to me that you are all about action and not just words and presentations. So congratulations in what you are initiating here. We are all truly inspired and excited to be part of it. So why are we doing this data analytics program? I think it was the executive mayor who indicated the scourge of youth unemployment in particular. In 2021, last year in September, our unemployment rate in South Africa hit 34%, which it has been the highest for a very, very long time. And the vast majority of those that are unemployed are young people. So that is the context in which we operate in, over and above other issues, socio-economic issues that we have to deal with. But whilst all of this is happening, what is also emerging in the world around us is a major opportunity. We've come to know that it's not only about technology, but data in itself is a resource that has come incredibly important. Have you ever wondered why, if you have a smartphone, you have a conversation about a particular topic with someone, and an hour or a day later, you receive an advert about the conversation you are having. That is no chance. It is deliberate. Why? Because the vast volumes of data that you input into your phone, and your phone listening to you, if you are not aware, when you do accept the terms and conditions, it's part of the terms and conditions. The data is actually analyzed so that they can begin to advertise what they believe are things that are important to you. But on a more serious note, in the context of what KZN has experienced over the last while, with the floods and issues of climate change, the vast volumes of data that are available to us can empower us if we have the tools and the skills to be able to understand, predict, and act with precision when such incidents take place in the future. So the reason why we are doing this is because we fundamentally believe that whilst we have this huge challenge of youth unemployment and the social ills, we want to take advantage of this emerging opportunity and combine these two things and create sustainable opportunities for our young people. We are therefore partnering, led by you, Honorable Premier, and the KZN government, with the PBICT, Microsoft, Sigma, and of course our host school, in identifying and finding 20, which is the start, of course, Honorable Premier, young people who come from this municipality who are going to be trained in data analytics. What we are also going to be doing is providing them with real international work experience, because the nature of work today does not need to be done in a specific physical location. These 20 young people are going to be sitting in our lab right here in the school and conduct real data analytics work with international companies in different parts of the world. This 6-month program will also ensure that those that participate, the 20, receive a monthly stipend of 3,500 Rand, so that they are able to sustain themselves and even their families, and be able to afford to take whatever taxis they need to take to be here. So how are we going to do this? Honorable Premier, I did mention that Dr. Rawls indicated that you are a leader of action. So I certainly did not want to come here to this occasion and say we are still going to. So I'm happy to report that we've started the process of recruitment already. And to date, we've received over 300 applications. But if you are one young person sitting here and feeling left out because you have not yet applied, applications are still open for a short while. And I will talk to you about how to apply. All these applicants are also going to be assessed, because we appreciate that our young people may not necessarily have the background in data analytics. Many of them will be encountering this topic for the very first time. So we are not going to have expectations that they have prior knowledge in data analytics, but we are going to assess them to understand their aptitude and their suitability to participate in this particular program. But those that are successful are going to do 2 courses. One being Introduction to Data Analytics, so that the concepts of data analytics and tools are well understood. Then secondly will be an international accreditation in Power BI, which is a Microsoft-based technology and tool for data analytics. Once we have done this, we are then going to allocate all 20 young people to these international companies that we work with, each of the 20 being allocated a mentor and a coach. A mentor so that they can be assisted in how to think about their futures and careers, and a coach to assist them with the work tasks that they are actually going to be performing. Of course, all of this is going to be taking place from here, virtually. Whilst we have this location here, we want to make it a point that our young people are exposed to international standards, are exposed to global ways of doing things, because our future depends on it. Young people must now understand that the competition for jobs is not only their neighbor and their friends, but also other millions, billions of young people in different parts of the world, in China, in India, in the US, in Australia, Indonesia, etc. And this concept must be understood from the word go. I'm happy to also say, Honorable Premier, that we of course all understand that we experience too often, for our liking, the issue of load shedding, which can be extremely disruptive to our lives. But we've ensured that we find a solution and a way around this. And as a result, the lab that is placed in our whole school here actually runs on solar energy, so that where there is load shedding, those that participate in the program are not interrupted. So what is the anticipated impact of this program? Of course, we want to produce 20 data analysts that are certified, but we also want to ensure that they have this global work experience. More importantly, Honorable Premier, I do want to make a request to say that the government of KZN needs to create opportunities for these data analysts over and above those that we are creating globally, because we want to ensure that the skills that we produce with this program from today onwards are skills that can make a difference here in KZN first and foremost. So what are the next steps as I conclude, Program Director? The recruitment process is going to be complete at the end of October, because come the 1st of November, the induction of the 20 that we have selected will commence. And in that same week, the first course of Introduction to Data Analytics will also commence. Those that have not yet applied, we do have posters hanging in the lab with a QR code. Please, you can scan your phone. There is free Wi-Fi, as I understand, principal, in our school. So you are not going to have any problems with internet, and you can just simply apply by completing the form. At some point, you may receive a link for your assessments, and I do wish you luck for that. In conclusion, Premier, I want to come back to what I had said initially in congratulating you and your team. We are very much aware that this is only the beginning. We may not know everything. We may not have all the answers. But what truly inspires us is that we do have a leadership that is committed not only to 4IR, but its impact in our society and community, and in particular to young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's give Mr. Mabinya another round of applause. I think a lot of what he has said was also assisting me in the item that we are going to be taking next, in introducing our Honorable Premier to be able to address us at a later stage, but we will then start with Dennis to give us our career and future skills as well in this space. But opportunities have been clearly spelled out by Buti Ubaxolile. And it's up to us to really take those opportunities. If Mr. Dennis Rolls can also join to elaborate further on career opportunities and the future skills.
Greetings, everyone. In my hometown, we say I have a big voice, so I project quite loudly. My name is Dennis Rolls. I'm a creative director and brand strategist. Also, I like calling myself a creative technologist. I describe myself as a disciplined maverick, and it's befitting in the space that we're in, all because we have to understand the parameters that we have. We have to understand that we can't always accept the parameters that we have and figure out how do we push those boundaries. So being a disciplined maverick alongside Dr. Rolls, who is a family member of mine, is my cousin. Him and I have worked together ever since I was little. He introduced me to computers. I remember playing my very first game on a black and white monitor. It was Mortal Kombat 2. So here's the reason why the IT bug bit me very early. I come from a town called Dundee, small town. I stumbled upon the book called My Career in 1998. I'm 39 this year, I'm turning 40. So I just want to give, I stumbled upon this book, and I always had an artistic flair. And then I find this thing called graphic design. And I read up about it. So I'm about the age of 16. And I'm like, wow, I can actually have a job from being able to draw. Where I'm from, I never knew a graphic designer. I didn't know of a thing called graphic design until I was the age of 16. Although I was exposed to computers at the age of 13, 15, and so forth, and that's the powerful thing of careers. The beautiful thing of the world that we're living in, that the fourth industrial revolution is bringing to us, is a world of change. 2007, I clearly remember that was my last year in varsity. The job social media manager did not exist. We were not using those words at all. The birth of what we call 2.0 birth to new jobs. Now I'd like to talk about what we call now Web 3. Now Web 3 is a very interesting development in the internet, which is going to spawn even more new jobs. And the digital economy is only going to grow. Now, I'll just go back a bit. There's something very important that happened. In our research, we found there's a gentleman in some small town in India. He's a computer scientist, studied programming. He's making $20 million per year in a small town in India by himself. What does he do? He makes something called plugins. So those who work with computers, you always say, oh, my software needs a plugin. He makes plugins for the Gmail suite. It has a professional version. So like your Gmail, he'll make a plugin to give it extra features. That's all he does. $20 million. The digital economy made that possible. He took a skill, he found a need, and he ensured that he's able to make a living. From there, all he has to do is teach. Teach others how to tap into that. Now, I'm going to move into what we call now Web 3. Very exciting space. It's still new. It's still very, very scary. Some people are afraid of it. So it's mainly the internet built on the blockchain. So the blockchain technology is basically clean verification. What it opens up for is a lot of innovation there. So the digital economy is actually out there waiting for people to create new careers and new jobs. And for us who have started in Web 2.0, we started with something called Flash. We're looking at rich media before YouTube could blow up, before HTML5, and we can have the websites that we can build. We had other ways of building them. And now it's become so much easier. So the digital economy is definitely opening up. If you're a student right now in school, you should be looking for something called Scratch, which teaches you development and development thinking. From scratch, literally, it's meant for children. And it's to help them understand how to read and eventually write code. Some technologists, especially futurists, have predicted that the future jobs are going to be creative thinking jobs. Not necessarily creative, like in arty, but creative thinking jobs. Because all the basic jobs like flipping a burger, cleaning, will eventually be taken over by something more reliable. We call them robots or automated. So the space that's going to open up is creative thinking jobs. There's a gentleman over there. There's a gentleman over here. Part of his job is doing live streaming. There's cameras. It's part of creative thinking. So when you're thinking of careers for the future, always know that your creativity, the way you think, is going to be able to open up and you'll be able to create the future jobs. Thank you very much.
Wow. You just are left amazed with that passion and enthusiasm. He is really a maverick in his own space and he really understands it. And let's really give him a round of applause. Today, not just only the learners, even us, the old people, we're going to go back and look for the scratch. That's what we're going to be doing. Thank you very much for that. Allow me then to take this opportunity to bring this important session to our Honorable Premier. The Honorable Premier needs no introduction at all in the service of the public. She has worked tirelessly for the people of Kwazulu-Natal and South Africa in general. She has been an ambassador deployed or assigned to the Czech Republic by the South African government. She has served even before that, and it as a mayor when we had the North Central Local Council in Durban before it was amalgamated. She's been in the legislature and held at various portfolios, including amongst those portfolios being assigned in the Executive Council as the MEC for COCTA, as the MEC for the Economic Development, Tourism in the province. She has also moved as an MEC in the Department of Provincial Treasury. Now, most importantly, she is our Premier. Please, let's welcome the Honorable Premier of the province. May we stand.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Program Director
Mr. Dlamini. We wish to thank you for this opportunity. I do wish to acknowledge Councillor Zuma in his absence, Councillor Majola, our Speaker of Umsunduzi Municipality, Dr. Mkize, the DG of Kwazulu-Natal Government. I wish to acknowledge Mr. Governor, our host, our principal, and the staff of the Orient Heights. I wish to acknowledge the chairperson of the SGB, Dr. Rolls. Also do wish to acknowledge Mr. Kolile, who is here with us, and we appreciate your presence and for sharing, the information with us. Mr. Tabani Mazibuko, the author of Amangwe, the Space Boy Innovation book, captains of industry that are here, our graduates, our learners that are here, boys and girls. We wish to acknowledge all the teachers from other schools and the principals and the governing bodies, our young people, abaqhamuka kuzona zonke ezinye izikole ezikhona la, nolusha oluqhamuka lapha eMgungundlovu. Siyafisa ukubingelela. I do wish to greet you this morning. Indeed, we are very excited today as the government of KwaZulu-Natal, this important day in the life of our children, or in the life of a child of KwaZulu-Natal. From today, a child of a farmer, a child of a domestic worker, a child of a laborer, a child of a shop floor worker will know that it is okay to dream, that it is okay to dream big, and to have dreams of highest order, because all dreams do come true. You dare not dream. With the launch of this digital lab project today, our learners will take a giant step to be part of the new multi-serve or multiverse of possibilities which are anchored on the digital technology. And I'm so happy that Mr. Rolls came here before me to try and explain this digital economy that we are talking about. This launch is also a launch for us, for our dream, my passion for a smart province, which marks the beginning of the long-term project for us that we wish to roll out in the whole of KwaZulu-Natal. And I'm so grateful that we started here at Orient Heights. So Orient Heights is going to be part of history when we make history in our book to say we started with this launch at Orient Heights. And from there, we then extended to the rest of the province. Over the coming months, we will like to see many of these labs that we are launching here that will expose our children from the early age, as well as our youth, on the fourth industrial revolution technologies. I do believe that we have a duty to drag our youth into the fourth industrial revolution, because very soon, actually, we are already approaching the 5th industrial revolution, and yet we have not even tested the 4th industrial revolution. And others would not even remember that there was ever, we started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going forward. I was talking to Dr. Rose and other colleagues here that some of the kids will be able to experience the 9D virtual reality. 9D, we're still talking 3D. And today we brought the 9D. That's how the world is progressing while we are sleeping. But what does this mean? It means that there is a whole lot of opportunities waiting out there to be tapped by our young people here. And the one way to position our province as the future technology hub is to get our youth at this age, get our women, our young girls to be at the center of this revolution that we are talking about. Our ambitious project today in earnest, this is the first a mobile of digital analytic skills laboratory here in Orient Heights. And this mobile lab will be here to ensure that our young people are taught the skills. And I think Mr. Xolile has already said what skills are going to be taught here. The one good thing about this lab as well is that it uses solar powered energy. It doesn't use electricity. So even if there is no electricity, this lab will be running. And the good thing as well about this lab is that it's connected through the microwave. And I don't know whether it was Dr. Rawls that ignited my passion to technology, but I'm very passionate about technology. I was even taught at some stage, Mr. Dlamini and Xolile, how to change the screen. I can change your damaged screen. I can open your phone, change the screen. That's how easy this thing is. There's small things inside here. And imagine how much you have to pay when you have to do that. And that's what we want these learners to learn. We want them to learn how to code. Xolile spoke about data analytics and scientists. As government, when we develop policies, we need to be able to develop policies that are sustainable, policies that are driven by scientific information that say, why are we doing this thing this way? And the only way we are going to be able to do that is when we have these data analysts that are able to harvest this data, analyze the data, clean the data, and be able to make the data for us to use once it's been harvested. Today, again, ladies and gentlemen, our children will be equal to the sons of bureaucrats, will be equal to the children from other well-to-do schools. But also they will be equal to the children in the UK, in the US, anywhere in Ghana, in Sierra Leone, anywhere in the world. And that is why we want to unlock these opportunities that are presented by the technology, because we talk about unemployment. And Xolile spoke about this, that the jobs that we occupy now as we know them They are going to disappear. We must be clear and we must live with that reality. But the fact is that there are millions of jobs that we have not even started to explore. They are there already. And we're not even getting into those sectors of the economy. So that is why it was very important for us that as a province, we can't be left behind anymore. We need to get into the space of technology. We need to get our province to be connected. We need to get our people to be connected. We know during the lockdown how difficult it was to work from home, because in many homes there were no connectivity. Many people did not have internet. A lot of students did not have internet connectivity. And if we had connectivity, it would have been easy for us to do business even wherever that we are. That is why for us, if we connect KwaZulu-Natal, if we get our people to understand technology, we do believe that we can unlock a lot of opportunities for SMMEs. When we talk about SMMEs in particular, we're saying with this lab, for instance, we can be able to connect all the neighboring communities from here. What that means is that for these neighboring communities to be connected, there is somebody who must open a business of selling the data. There is somebody who must open a business of connecting those communities, because they must build those dishes and have the microwave to link those communities. And there must be somebody who must have a kiosk of, cleaning up our gadgets. There must be somebody who can also fix our gadgets. There must be somebody who will sell the data, somebody who will be able to help us when we don't have connectivity in our homes. So you can imagine the number of jobs I'm already talking about, let alone the jobs that are created within the industry. As Xolile was saying, when we were talking with some of the people that we're launching this lab here, they were already saying the learners that are going to be coming out of this lab, most of them are already getting job offers even before they start. Because a lot of people, one of the businesses I'm told, he does the work for the banks. He's a collecting agency for the banks. And he needs the data analyst and the data scientist. So it is very important, therefore, that if we are to be successful as a nation, I know that it's important that at a young age, our learners, they learn to read and write. And I know the teachers would want the learners to learn how to hold a pen for the muscle, and yeah, it's okay. But at the end of the day, the market needs something else. I always try not to be, Mr. Lamini, not to be discouraged to finish my PhD, because it's not what is needed by the market. That is why we have so many unemployed youth, because people go to universities and learn what the market doesn't want. You can't go and learn for nothing. You go and learn what the market needs. And what the market needs, it needs people in technology. It needs people in logistics. It needs data scientists. It needs data analysts. And many more other work within that space. It needs people who are going to be able to code. So as we get to talk as members of the community, but also as educators, we need to be able to start to shape the minds of our learners, but also our students, to say, we've been trying to get some of our learners that did not finish matric ukuthi bakwazi nabo ukusizakala. Now there is something that is flying all over here that is called the drone. And for you to be a drone pilot, you don't even need to have a matric. And you can imagine how many jobs are there for the drone pilots. Insurance companies, they need drone pilots because when there's an accident, you can launch the drone and be able to give you the live experience of that accident to see which car was at which position when it happened. When you are a drone pilot, you can be able to monitor the traffic on the road. You can be able, I was telling the one lady that the one thing I like about the drone is that you can even be able to look after your cows while you're sitting on your couch with the drone. Ngakwazi ukuthi ulusi inkomo zasekhaya uyihlalele nje laphayana uyibukela iTV with the drone. You can be able to monitor your garden, your fields, as to whether your food is ready for harvesting using the drone. Sitting in your lounge. I have a lot of other colleagues who've graduated to have smart houses. And I think each one of us here should strive to have a smart house. Smart house gets you to be able to put your kettle on as you leave your office. You put your kettle on, by the time you get home, you just make your coffee or tea. To be able, the smart home is able to get you to warm your oven. Just open your stove and warm your oven, say what temperature you want. By the time you get home, your oven is warm. Put your lights on, put them off, open things in your home while you are still on your way. Should be able to open even your gate as you approach. It will tell you how much distance you have between your house and your gates, and it will be able to open it on time so that you don't open the gates and wait until the criminals come. That's how important this technology is for our livelihood. It's not just something that we should be looking far for it. Madiba, in one of his code, says, and I quote, "Education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of the peasant can become a doctor, that the son of the mine worker can become a head of the mine, that a child of the farm worker can become a president of the great nation. It is what we make out and what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from one another." And I think it's important, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our learners, that we understand that the world that we are living in is not the world that our grandmas and our mothers lived on, but we need to create our world now for our future. You had Mr. Rhodes talking about futurists, and futurists are talking right now of the cars that are going to be driving not on the road, avoiding all the traffic. And you know how easy that will be to avoid all this traffic and just drive. And it's not a fiction, it's real. It's happening already, by the way. And we've seen even in other countries how cars are driven with the biodiesel, the sugar cane that we have everywhere. I always tell my colleagues, I don't talk about electric cars in South Africa. At least if you talk about biodiesel cars, then I would understand, because I know we've got enough sugar cane everywhere. But not electric cars. You must start at home and light the houses first before you think about lighting our cars. Imagine if we had electric cars, what will happen? Nobody will be moving. So it's important that we understand technology for what it is, but also that we move with times if we are to really deal with unemployment in our country and in our province. So program director for us as KZN, we do have talent, and as government we want to create an environment that will enable this talent to be unleashed. We want to create a pool of young people, young children from Orient Heights Primary to be able to go everywhere, anywhere in the world without even sometimes having to take a flight and go there, to be able to work for the company anywhere in the world, sitting at home, because that's how technology is making things happen. You don't need to fly to UK or US. You can work for a US company. And by the way, it makes a lot of economic sense because when we are awake, US is sleeping. That's why US in particular, and some Europe, they want to employ people from South Africa because they want to work 24 hours. As they are sleeping, we are awake. So you should be working for those companies. And as they wake up, they have people there, we sleep here. So you could be having 2 or 3 jobs. I mean, that's one thing we don't do here in South Africa. You know, in many countries, people don't have one job. They have 1 or 3 jobs to be able to live a comfortable life. And it's possible with technology. It is possible. Even technology, one thing good about it, you don't need an age for technology. From the young age, you'll see the kids that we are going to be, teaching robots and coding. You know, the drone that we fly. Oh, you're also going to see my car, Mr. Dlamini, that I put together. You'll see you find the small pieces like this that we just throw on the floor there, and we give them a picture. Grade double note or grade R, they put those pieces together and make the car walk and use the remote control for that car to jump and do all kind of things. And the one I like most is the one of the 4D printing, where you can even print your own toys. You might not even need to go buy toys. You can even sell those toys, by the way. And you just design a toy and then you print it using the 4D printing. Some of the young people, the youth that were being trained as data scientists in Durban, they invented prosthetic for animals when they were at that school, unemployed graduates. Prosthetic for animals, that if your dog doesn't have a leg or hand or whatever, they can just print it using the 3D and fit it to that animal. So opportunities are endless. We don't need to confine ourselves and our children and our country. I do wish to thank the Orient Heights Primary principal and the staff and the governing body, the MEC of Education, Mr. Xolile, the Sigma Infotech, and Microsoft, and many other partners that we are working with, and when we're embarking on this journey of saying dare to dream, of saying the journey to bring the 4IR to the schools and to the young people in KwaZulu-Natal is not the dream that we cannot reach, but it is something that creates millions of jobs. It is something that can create millionaires and billionaires. And by the way, there is a gentleman called Thabani Mazibuko. He's somewhere, you'll see him. Thabani has written this book that we are hoping that will bring it to your schools. It's called The Space Boy. It comes with a coloring book for the grades, the small ones, double knots and all the other grades, to those ones with the storybook of the Space Boy. And this is now in the international books in US. You can find this book. And Tabani Mazibugo is here. You will see the work that he has done. Putting up the satellites and putting things to inspire our young people and our learners. And we need more. Oh, Nang, there he is. Hey, stand up. There he is. And you don't need to be coming from a rich family. You don't need to be coming from an area that has got people that have got things. But you just need to be yourself. You need discipline. You need your vision. And you need your passion to make money and to create businesses for yourselves and for our people. I do wish to thank the Director General for allowing me to dream and for allowing my madness to inspire others, Mr. Dlamini. Other people, they get annoyed for my creativity because I think a lot. I think a lot. Dr. Rose, you are here to hear me. We don't sleep because we want to think, we want to do things, we want to create things. And I think we need many, many more. You had roles here, creatives. And it's possible. It's possible when we teach our kids that they don't need to be glued up on the TV. When they are glued up on the TV, they need to be learning something, not just to watch somebody doing things. And I always say, when you are watching TV, you're watching somebody doing things when you're doing nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give the Honorable Premier another round of applause as we may be seated. Thank you. We have a leader. Obviously, we can see where we're going. The digital economy is going to be our language moving forward. I can also feel that probably as HODs, we need to make sure that in our space, we are able to find more creative thinking around issues of 4IR to make the dream of the Premier a reality in the province. Thank you very much, Honorable Premier. We have other words now in our vocabulary which the Premier has introduced. She introduced quite many of those words. Just besides the scratch, which we are going to learn as the adults and the children, there is also issues of smart houses. Yeah, I would love to have a smart house. You must dream to have a smart house. When you are just seated here, you are able to see who's at home, what's happening. You can probably even feed your dog while you are just seated here because you have a smart house. So thank you, Honorable Premier, for that. I'm going to request that we challenge the Honorable Premier to finish her PhD. Even though it might not help in terms of the digital economy, but it's really going to be a symbol for all of us that it's possible, especially for women in leadership, that it's possible even if you are inundated with work at that higher level to still dream and be able to achieve something like a PhD. We are challenging you, Honorable Premier, and let's give a round of applause for that as a challenge. Honorable Premier, allow me to request that we acknowledge the CEO of the Suntech and the team who are amongst our midst, Andrew. I'm not even sure whether they are here, but the CEO, we do acknowledge you and your team. If you can stand, let's just acknowledge the team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A lot of what the Honorable Premier has said really becomes possible with partners. If we don't have partners in the space, government can't do it alone. We do need these partners to take that forward. Honorable Premier, allow me to request the Honorable Councillor Umajola to say her closing remarks or a vote of thanks for this gathering, after which we'll then have announcements. Honorable Majola.
Program Director, Mr. Dlamini, who is also an acting HOD for Agriculture and Rural Development. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Honorable Premier, Umama Dube-Ncube, we are greeting you. The mayor of the district, Ubaba Uzuma in absentia, chairperson of the SGB, Ubaba Ndlovu, UDG, we province ya Kwazulu-Natal, Umamkize, Onokanya, chief director, the principal of the school, Baba Governor with the staff, Sonke Sase, Orient Heights. Program Director, allow me, in the interest of time, to observe all protocol. Program Director, I think I need not to spoil the presentation or the speech by the Premier. Mine is just to appreciate and thank the Premier, Umama Dube-Ncube, and by praising the notch, by placing KwaZulu-Natal on course to become an innovation and technology hub, introducing children to technology at a young age in an educational format, as we see the importance of technology, science, engineering, and maths. Learning and the opportunity, it can be open. So with taking these subjects, as Premier has alluded to earlier on, those can open up opportunity for the children. Program Director, as technology continues to evolve, the next generation of young children in our province will be the ones driving innovation and change. So it's imperative that they learn how to utilize, understand, and adapt to the new advances we are seeing today and every day. We also extend our gratitude to the Premier as the Msondozi municipality for choosing our city of choice, and also on behalf of the Orient Heights Primary School for being chosen to be the school where we are implementing or having this launch, but also where the Premier has identified as where they are going to start the program. As the city of choice, we are delighted that one of the main objectives of the project is to expose school children from an early age and youth to the fourth industrial revolution, technologies so that they can have the skills set and accumulate to be part of the $6 trillion digital economy. Program director, you'll remember that COVID-19 has accelerated the fourth industrial revolution, where people, as indicated earlier on, working from home. So in the course, our work has exposed into the new advanced ways of communicating and our daily work activities. And we hope that whilst we are doing that, our children should be instrumental in ensuring that technology is at the center of growth and development in our province, and cascade it to help institutions such as municipalities in advancing effective service delivery. Program director, in conclusion, let me once again thank you and all the speakers who have come to the podium, who imparted a lot of knowledge to us and also to these kids, and those who behind coordinating this event. It is the eye-opener to all of us. We appreciate the encouragement that our Premier is having in dealing with the issues of technology. You know, Premier, with us, especially Laboktua or born before technology, or PPT, Lababafana Nat, they are very much scared to tap into the space of technology because of unknown things. We know that we were not exposed to such things. So sinaleyo nto nje yokuthi makukhulunywa technology kube ngathi kukhulunywa ngesilwane. But we are happy and we are very much encouraged by the initiative that you have taken of tapping into the space. I think we are going to follow you in our spaces and in our municipalities. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Thank you very much to the Honorable Speaker for those words. We have now come towards the end of our program, and I'm going to request Dr. Leon Rolls to come and just give us announcements, especially in terms of guiding what will happen next. What is it that would like the Honorable Premier to see? I'm optimistic to go and see the car that the Honorable Premier built. So I would want to really see that as an exciting. It's a monster truck. It is a monster truck, so we'll be delighted to see that, Honorable Premier. Thank you very much. Over to you, Doc. Let's give him a round of applause.
No, thank you very much, Program Director. And without wasting time and all protocol observed, my job is very simple. It's to tell you exactly what you are going to do today. Are we excited to be here today? Yeah. That's not enough. We are talking about 4IR. Have you seen 4IR before? No. Today, everyone that is here, you are going to see this 4IR. I promise you. This morning, did the Premier tell you that she was flying in space? She was flying in space. You guys are going to fly in space today. Do you see, if you look through that window right now, there's that blue light. So before you go home, if your car is there to pick you up, you must kick and scream. Say, no, I want to go to space. I don't want to go home, okay? Right, so what's going to happen today? First, let me thank the Premier. I found you with that passion. You taught me not to sleep. Yeah. A lot of us, unfortunately, have to get those WhatsApp. And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking of a house, a smart house, where if I want to change color, if today I want it to be pink, I must say pink, and it must turn pink. It's possible with the technology that is called nanotechnology. If you go to the shops today and you buy paint, there's paint that's written nanotechnology. Have you seen it? It adjusts to the sun and the weather. Do you know that nanite, you can tell it to take what color, whatever color it is? Today, that technology, you're going to see it. Right? That's one of the things you're going to be experiencing. Premier, this morning, those kids that you said I must give t-shirts, they must build those robots. So they've built the robots, right? And then they're like, where's the premier? Want to show her, right? So they said, okay, we are going to reverse engineer the robot. So they've stripped it apart. They've put it back together again. And these are kids that have never seen robots before. Mr. Governor, those kids, those robots, we thought they were going to take the whole day. They've built it, put it together, and put it back again. We took some of the youth at the back, 12 of them. I think Abasego, Sobantu, Nago, Semba. They've never seen robots before. They've built like 3 or 4 robots since this morning. It's amazing. Right? So there's something that I want you to look at on this banner, and I want you to take this home. Do you see what's written there? Yes, I am. Let's all say it. Yes, I am. Right? So it says there, are you for IR? And you must say, yes, I am. Are you for IR? Yes, I am. That's what I want. Okay, so what's going to happen now is it's time to eat. Me, I'm hungry. There's nice food there. By the way, while we're talking about that, do you know that in the future you're not going to be buying food? Eh? Yes. You're going to go buy what we call a cartridge. And you're going to print food. The premier was talking about 4D. Did she tell you that on a 4D printer you can print steak? Right. And now, yes. And that's why we are here. Okay. Yes, you can print a house. When you get time, go to YouTube, all of you, and Google what I'm saying to you and what the premier is saying. Printed houses. YouTube, you'll see it. It's real. They're printing houses. Go and look at printed steak, and you will see it. Now, this is why we want to bring all these young minds here, so that when you go back, you start to walk in this new journey. The reason why we have the teachers here, we want you to know and to see that possibility or impossible doesn't exist in the vocabulary of the future, okay? Right. Are you for IR? Yeah. So what's going to happen now, Honorable Premier, is that I will request that your table, followed by the principals from the other schools, will allow the Premier to lead us. We are going to exit, and then the first thing that we are going to do is to look at the lab. We'll launch this digital lab. Thank you, Commissioner. Hey, ever since our Commissioner came here, hey, Taban, hey, this is a girl's name. Hey, sorry about that. So it brought this lab, so we're going to have a look at the lab. Now, once we move from the lab, the Premier will open the lab, she'll walk us through the lab. From there, we are going to go to the robotics station where these kids are making these robots. When we leave from there, you're then going to follow through and we'll have a short demonstration of the drone. Now, the Premier's very, very passionate, absolute passionate thing is the little ones. So from yesterday, those kids are, I don't know how old is our child. Are they not 3? They look so small, they look like they're 1-year-old, some of them. They've been building robots too, since this morning. One classroom you will see they've built robots. The other classroom you will see they're talking about space. So once you've done from there, we'll then walk to what we're calling the 4IR Career Lab. And we will walk you through and show you the technologies and the careers that are there. Now, after this Premier, I know that you said that you're tired of attending these functions. You want things that happen after. One of the things you will see when you go to your phones, you see there's JL Dube. It's our Premier's brainchild. Now I'm going to tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell her. The password for the Wi-Fi is Internet for All. small caps, and with the number 4. You see, remember that and write it. What is it? Internet for all. With the number 4, it's all small caps. If you go around Pietermaritzburg, some of you have seen J.L. Dube in a lot of places. That's the password. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Right. So, Premier, up to the airport, all the way, right to the tap. Ezuzulwazi. Izuzulwazi kuphi? Izuzulwazi is that side. Khona baqhamalenge go tailors. Right. Oh, napa lapa. Yes, that's it. So what's gonna happen, Premier, is that this school is now the first school. What we said that, Honorable Speaker, for the next 3 months, we are focusing on Umgungundlovu. After 3 months, we're leaving and Pindenisborn. But when we leave here, we want to leave teachers like Mr. Governor that are going to carry on with the flag that the Premier had put here today. All the technologies and the robots that you will see, we will leave them here. The teachers from around the corner, we started it during COVID, where we were teaching them 4IR. So every weekend, we've got from UKZN, robotics engineers that will be teaching the teachers robotics. Yes, the girls, yes. And the girls that are putting up towers and that. Right. So that is what's going to happen. It's going to be exciting because we want Umgungundlovu, Nomsunduzi as our capital city to be the first one that becomes 4IR. Are we together? So, once the Premier leaves, the learners, please, if you can sit down, remain seated with your teachers. Once they have left, you will be then called one school at a time to go collect the food. All the VIPs and the teachers that are here, once your kids have received the food, they will then go up to the benches there and you'll have your food there. After that, please make sure that your kids go around and they go and experience 4IR. Okay? Thank you. So if we can allow, we remain seated as learners. Can we follow the Premier here? Right. So once this is done, now this is how we are going to do it. Right. Spongsen, please if you can come here.
How many speakers are still there?
Sanibona. Ninjani? Sasilambile.
The users. Yeah.
We have a Wi-Fi and he gave you the password.
The users.
You know why? We made, I'm not saying he made a mistake. We made a mistake. Okay? That password that we gave you, it must start with hash. Then say internet.
No.
If you want to say hash.
Oh.
And remember the 4 is the number.
I tell you.
All 4 letters. All right. Now, what we're going to do? Can I start with the back row? You can see the back row. We just watch them. We don't want to say anything. Once on my left, the back row, just stand up. And then we walk
Stefan bazalwane. Abe sisivala. Stefan. Chileni right here.
back, then the next one. We're only starting from the last row, please, so that we may have order.
If I can frame this.
Which side?
Remember that if you are a postman thing, it's still a child compared to Shawat. Are you now being connected? Is the password going through? Okay, let's start here. We're looking for an SSID that says Zanzic Comnet. Then when you go from Zanzic Comnet, it requires you to punch in a password. And as a back, the password will be cash, internet for all. All small letters, one straight line. Who's getting connected?
Jack Comfort's also when
So if it's not connected to you, you need help. And remember, what we are doing here, we can
ngakwazi ukuhlehla kancane aboyi-writing ibhodi lela yesitingi ifinga nje kancane that's it ba
all right, guys, we're not standing up until the last row is back.
and then she's in the shop.
Okay, guys, let's do this the easy way. Learners, my beautiful learners, can you all sit down and let the teachers and parents go first?
Yeah, this frame is perfect to me.
Yes.
virtual live classes that are going to be taken by instructors who are qualified in data analytics. Included in here as well is labs with all the tools and the technologies that they are going to be exposed to. All right, thank you very much. Look over to you.
Yes. Right. Yes. What's your yeah. I'm show. Why am I okay. Hello. Yeah. Same, yeah. Have you been out?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. It's great. Do you think that you learned just, in the hills? Now you're here.
So when this is over,
she can do the tower.
I would suggest that
This tower. Yeah.
the young youth basically. So if that is possible, if you can replace that, because I do not want to do a piece job. I want to do something proper. Because obviously after that, there's